I suck at sports, and as a child, I was always in the back row on photo day because I was so tall. And being tall always meant you stick out. Either it was because you can reach that box of cookies that no one else could, or you didn't have to use a stool to look at yourself in the mirror during your first day on kindergarten. And lastly, most tall kids that I remember were really good at sports. And this is just because their lankiness gave them an advantage. You know, they can reach further than anybody else and run faster because they have longer legs. But for me, being tall was detrimental. I did not stand in a good way in sports. So much so, I remember that I always wanted a friend to be a captain of a team, so I wasn't chosen last for once in my life. You could say that I could work harder, try harder. I was cursed with the early growth spurt, and what that meant was that my body didn't have time to catch up. I have what my specialists like to call patellar instability. Patellar instability means that the groove under my kneecap is so shallow that whenever I extend my leg, my kneecap pops out of place. Mine is so bad that I remember my specialist specifically recording it to show all of his coworkers in his office, and not meaning to brag or anything, but I was practically famous there. Everybody knew my knee on a first name basis. Now, I'm just gonna show you what patellar instability looks like on my knees. If you're particularly triggered by bones dislocating, I recommend to skip to this time of the video. You're just gonna get exposed to my terrible streaming background. My knee pops out like so, see? And I got surgery on it, and it didn't fix it at all. But here is the big issue. I run like this. This is because if I run like a normal person, my leg would extend right when I run, but then once I try to bend it again, my knee wouldn't pop back into place in time. So I'd just be on the floor crying like a little baby. Therefore, I never really had the chance to be good at sports until sports! The Wii console came out in 2006. It was the most revolutionary console to ever exist because you can use your body to control the game. Game changer, if you don't mind me saying. Basically, every child and their gamer parents wanted to have one. Most of the rip-offs that came out after, from PlayStation and Xbox. And we all know, most consoles, when they come out, they usually come out with a free demo game to show off the features of the new system. Now for the Wii, it was Wii Sports. Now this game contained boxing, golfing, tennis, and baseball, and every child's favorite game, bowling. And I swear every child loved Wii Sports Bowling because they were cracked at it. And I mean cracked! I have this theory, right? We all know that Nintendo is E for everybody. So they want to give everybody an opportunity to win. I believe that the sensors on the Wii that you use to put underneath your Wii thing can detect if it's a childlike body and has the child win every time. For instance, they could be the worst possible player at bowling, throw it up in the air and then somehow it goes all the way to the left, almost getting into the gutter, but then magically last second swerves into the center and then gets this. Nice, bro. That sound is so ingrained in my brain that I feel like the serotonin kicking in when I hear it. It was my first experience as a child ever destroying my brother, making him fully cry and suffer the way that he always did whenever we played Double Dash. And the manhandling me and the other children would have on these poor little Wii remotes. Let's be honest, nobody ever used these things. These were called safety straps. They were annoying to put on and extra annoying to leave on. And even though the warning signs were scary as hell, and my mom kept repeating to my brother and I we should be wearing them, we never had them on. Now I'm going to show you my childhood technique just to show how godlike I am at the game on how to get a perfect score. Okay, this is how the technique, how it goes. Make sure it goes a little bit over the second arrow. So there's the middle arrow and then the second arrow to your right. And so you want to go a little bit over the one to your right, and then you're gonna go pull back and then throw it upward. So the ball kind of goes slow and you'll get a strike or spare every time. That time it's gonna be a spare. Now I'm just getting sloppy. Getting too cocky and sloppy. And do you know that a lot of cocky people are sloppy with their cockiness? First strike of the day! Another thing I loved about the Wii so much was that I could play as myself. It just made the experience more personable. Like, I wasn't beating up Yoshi or like Mario. I was beating up my brother, and it would just make the experience ever so more pleasurable. Like, it was so fun when you could just create Harry Potter or like a hamburger. I do have to say, I remember my first Mii 100%, like a lot of people do. The day that we got our Wii, my brother booted it up and started creating his first Mii. I watched him do all the steps and literally copied him step for step. Besides like the hair and like the colors, of course. When he chose nail, I also did, and you can kind of see where I'm going here. And when my brother found out, he laughed his ass off because my Mii was transgender for its entirety of its existence. Not like he has anything against like transgender people or anything, but I, as a dumb little kid, didn't intend for my Mii to be male. I was just too dumb to know like the difference between male and female. I think about it now, like I'm very embarrassed about it. My mom and my brother still bring it up to this day. I'd just like to inform you. I had to put the beauty mark on there. I always wanted a beauty mark for some reason as a kid, because I thought that would make me look beautiful. Did you know in training mode there were like 3 bowling mini games? They never really helped with bowling too much because it was like there wasn't really wood blocks center of the bowling ball areas like they did in spin control, or like there's never no gutters in a bowling game like in power throws. But the one that was quite useful was the one called picking up spares, and your main objective here was to clear all pins, and they were always in a unique order, and you had 1 throw, 5 chances to mess up. Now my technique is godlike, just not so much with this minigame because the way they replaced the pin. It wasn't like the power throws one where like I just used my technique but like threw a bit harder. So no, it was just by hell. Basically that minigame, I remember never really playing it. I mainly focused though on one minigame. It was a baseball one. It was called hitting home runs. That was because I never hit home runs in normal mode, and it's so satisfying to hit home run. And like it got to the point where every time when I was by myself, I would practice this minigame over and over and over again until I got a perfect score. I literally freaked my shit out. I thought I was the first person who ever did this, and I searched it up on Google like a little dumbass as I was and got heavily disappointed. I was ready for my Guinness World Record, and it was just torn away from me because thousands of people have already done it before me. Hands down, the training area was my favorite, just behind WII Bowling as a child. By far, it's my favorite now. And that was because I was babysitting this 12-year-old, and we were playing WII Bowling, and it was her first time. She demolished me while she was on her phone dancing and laughing and looking at TikToks. So that just proved my theory that all kids are just cracked at Wii Sports Bowling. And like, I am watching you, Nintendo, and your creepy little censors watching little kids play video games. So I'm dethroned as bowling god and hate the game. We must ban Wii Bowling forever. Speaking about hating games and getting banned, come watch me on Twitch. Stream on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment down below any video suggestions you have for me. My other social media is down below too if you want to support me, I guess. Stay litty titty fam. Bye. This guy is scary as hell. Well, I'm gonna have to have someone, my roommate, to kill that thing for me. Or to let it outside or something, because, like, I'm scared of mobs. Ah, what do you want, kitty? Scared me, I was a mob. My cat is down here, by the way. He's just watching me play Wii Sports. What a squirt.